So welcome to our October Public Commission meeting here at the Niagara Park School of Horticulture. Early fall has been another strong time for visitation to Niagara Parks. The weather has certainly been on our side the past few weeks. On Friday, September 13th, we hosted the official book launch for The Landscape of Nations Beyond the Mist. It was a full house at the old Fort Erie Visitor Center that afternoon, and I understand over 200 copies of the book were sold. Thank you to Commissioner Salsi for attending the meeting and speaking on behalf of the Commission. On September 14th, the annual Amela South Asian Festival took place in Queen Victoria Park, which includes a dance competition, musical performances, programming, and vendors. Thank you, Commissioner Dan Lacaprera, who delivered the remarks on behalf of the Commission as well. September 15th, matter of fact, Ted, do you have any comments on that first one at all about the book?
It was a great event. It was a real pleasure to meet some of the artists and contributors. The book is spectacular, and I think we each have received a copy. But I think the uniqueness of the book will go on for years. Of course, I think this is the first publication that Niagara Parks has engaged in since 1985, my understanding. But it was well attended, and as I said, it was a pleasure to meet the artists and the contributors who made that book such a wonderful success.
Thank you for that. And Dan, I'm going to ask you if you have any comments on the Amela South Asian Festival.
It was, for me, it was very unusual because I had never attended anything like that, but it was interesting and wonderful. It was a good crowd. It was a beautiful evening, and I was introduced to music I had never heard before. So it was good.
Your age, that's something, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Dan.
There's always something to learn regardless of age.
Thank you. September 15th, we hosted the Barrelman Triathlon with Kingsbridge Park serving as the official finish line for the event. On September 25th, David attended and gave a presentation at the Brock University Board of Trustees meeting, speaking about the partnership between Niagara Parks and Brock. David, I'm going to defer to you. Any comments on that?
Yeah, through the chair. Again, it's an important relationship we have with Brock University. We have that formal MOU, and we had the signing ceremony that Vice Chair Coveney was at in April. I think we had a chance to speak to some of the work and partnership activities and collaborations that we've done with Brock University. It was well received by the board, and again, we'll continue that good work in 2025.
Thank you for that. On September 28th, we hosted the second annual Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association Run for Niagara charity event at Smeaton's Cove near the Floral Clock. I attended that. On September 30th, we marked National Day for Truth and Reconciliation with special illumination of the falls, attended by members of the Indigenous community with drumming by the Strong Water Singers. Also in September, we wrapped up the first filming session for the Flying Theater ride, including scenes at the Landscape of Nations Memorial, Whirlpool Aero Car, and jet boats, and a battle reenactment at Old Fort Erie. We received an overwhelming response from the community to our call for extras. Thank you to everyone who has volunteered their time to take part so far. Tonight, we will host a special event here with Dr. Roberta Bondar in celebration of their new exhibit Patterns and Parallels that is on display now at the Butterfly Conservatory. Dr. Bondar will be delivering a lecture and a Q&A session here at the School of Horticulture, followed by a private viewing of the new exhibit. Looking ahead, we are preparing to welcome guests during the upcoming Thanksgiving weekend, whether it's a hike to see the changing colors of the Niagara Glen, viewing the new chrysanthemum show. Help me with that word. Chrysanthemum. That's how you spell chrysanthemum. Wow. Show at the Floral Showcase. Jim, you should have top words like that when you're doing the mayor's address.
Nothing more than 2 syllables.
Okay, very good. Or enjoying a Thanksgiving meal at one of our restaurants. Niagara Parks is an excellent place to visit this time of year. October is yet another busy month for events and programming, which we'll hear more about shortly. So next, I'm going to ask for approval of the draft minutes from the last meeting. I was not there, and I thank Vice Chair Graham Coveney for taking care of that meeting. Any questions on the draft minutes? Mover and seconder, please. Moved by Tom, seconded by Graham. All those in favor? And that's carried. And the next item we have is a presentation, and that is a business highlights presentation by David.
Great. Thank you, Chair, and to all commissioners. I know we're again recording this for public view, so we'll go through a few key slides, Darla. In terms of stewards of the Niagara River Parkway, we always begin with the introductory slides talking about our mandate, the history of Niagara Parks, the landmass that we do cover from Fort Erie to Niagara on Lake, the whole 56-kilometer corridor. We'll go to the next slide. In terms of our founding in 1885, and that the two founding principles that we'd never be a burden to the taxpayers of Ontario, hence we are a self-funded, board-governed operational enterprise of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Gaming, and that as much as possible, the parks will be free for the public to enjoy. And of course, that vision statement to be one of the most spectacular parks in the world, our North Star to guide our strategic plan and our business planning activities, which of course we'll be talking about in the next couple of months. We'll go to the next slide. Our funding and operations, we are one of the larger employers in the Niagara region this year at 1,800 staff, so we are back to our peak staffing levels with all of our operations open once again in 2024. We are tackling our deferred maintenance projects as well, which we'll see some slides momentarily talking about all that good capital work going on north and south. In terms of the book launch, which Chair Gale spoke about and Commissioner Salsi represented the Commission at, back at Old Fort Erie. And of course, 17 authors contributed to this book. Rick Hill and Tim Johnson led this project. It was about 3+ years in the making, a very important book, and as Commissioner Salsi said, the first that Niagara Parks has been involved with publishing in about 40 years. So a very proud moment for Niagara Parks, and this is well received by community, including our Indigenous partners. The next slide, we have a video.
This book is really important because so much of the history of Indigenous peoples really isn't found in textbooks and found where you think it would be. So we felt through the Niagara Parks Commission, along with Plenty Canada, that producing a book like this was very important to fill in those missing chapters in history. I'm Tim Johnson. I am the conceptual and managing editor of Landscape of Nations Beyond the Mist. The book really is a compilation of essays by leading scholars and knowledge holders that tells about the 13,000 years of history of Indigenous peoples within the Niagara region. What's really fascinating about this book is how much aligned it is with Niagara Parks lands that run along the Niagara River corridor from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario. There's a significant amount of Indigenous history, and so we brought attention to a lot of the destinations and locations that where that history is quite profound. This book really grows out of the Landscape of Nations Memorial, but also Niagara Falls itself. I mean, Niagara Falls itself is a really powerful cultural symbol for both the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe peoples.
So that video was shared on our social media outlets and very well received as well. So behind the scenes filming for the new Flying Theater, this is Niagara Parks' newest attraction, which will open in 2025. So the summer shots are in the can. The fall shots will be taking place later this month, in the month of October, and then the crew will be back in December to capture winter in Niagara. So again, this is very important work for our new attraction. Construction is also going on at Table Rock on the back of house side of this new attraction. And again, the filming production. So the first set of 3 sets is complete. Next slide.
Can I just ask a question? Sorry. In the can? Is that like Hollywood dog?
I tried.
Okay, it's not
That's all I know.
in the can.
Just that little bit.
It was very impressive.
They probably don't say in the can anymore because I don't think you do it that way, but anyway. So, National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, Chair Gale mentioned this special illumination of the falls on September 30th. That was at the top of the hour for 15 minutes at each top of the hour. A very special collaboration with Archives Ontario. We're very rich and blessed at Niagara Parks to have wonderful archival imagery, archival records. And this is a partnership with Archives Ontario to promote, actually, this is Table Rock House on the upper left as it looked years ago, and our new bistro in the lower left. So it just gives you a simple outline of, this is posted on Instagram and some of the results. So just modest ways to get content and storytelling out about the history of Niagara Parks in different ways. The next slide. And again, some more collaboration, a view of Queen Victoria Park as in 1960 in the upper right. And again, this was posted on TikTok, and you can see the results on that social post. Next slide. Culinary operations, we do have new chef Chris Tota at Table Rock House Restaurant. And we have 3 Thanksgiving featured options coming up. It's sold out at Queenston Heights already. We'll have a brunch at Legends, and of course have a special menu throughout the weekend at Table Rock House Restaurant. Next slide. Golf updates, and of course the hard work of our golf committee, chaired by Commissioner Dan La Caprera, guiding our work in golf. Another successful season. This is a wonderful time to be on the golf courses in October with the leaves changing color, and lots of tournaments, stay and play packaging going on at this time of year. Golf updates in terms of the capital improvements to our Whirlpool, our Stanley Thompson course. Changes are just about completed except for tree planting on hole 18. We'll start to tackle hole 16, also working on some drainage issues as well there. Next slide. Retail and attractions. Our team did some special merchandising for Truth and Reconciliation with the displays that you see on the screen. That's one small way of changing out seasonally, but you'll see more fall displays, and of course we'll get into the holiday season very shortly. Signage updates, and as you know, when we undertake capital projects, both indoor and outdoor, we want to tell that story of what is coming. So here you can see the hoarding wall that is up on the 2nd floor of Table Rock for the new Flying Theater attraction, telling that story about that investment that we're making and what is coming, so our guests know what is coming to that 2nd floor of Table Rock. Sales team updates, you can see the number of wedding ceremonies and wedding receptions hosted at Niagara Parks recently, and also we've updated some of our photography in terms of those special moments across Niagara Parks. So another way that our guests have special moments at Niagara Parks, having their weddings and wedding receptions here with us. The Heritage and Legacy staff moving to the Queenston Caretakers Cottage. That also another important heritage structure within the historic Queenston Heights Park. So Jim Hill and his team are now located at that Gardener's Cottage, Caretaker's Cottage at Queenston Heights. Next slide. Our Coast to Coast Author Series, which did start during Canada's Sesquicentennial in 2017, we continue this project. This is promoting women authors from across the country. This year we have a special theme, Canada Survivalist Women Literary Series, once a month, September through December, at the chapel at Laura Secord Homestead, reception in Laura Secord Visitor Center, and then they go to the chapel for the interaction with the authors. And then, as Chair Gale said, tonight we have former astronaut Roberta Bondar here, right here at the School of Horticulture Lecture Hall for a lecture before going over to see the exhibition over the Butterfly Conservatory. Next slide. One of my favorite events that takes place the first Saturday of each November is the Indigenous Remembrance Day ceremony. So again, if commissioners have time and members of the public watching this broadcast, if you can come out that afternoon, 1 p.m., Queenston Heights at the Landscape of Nations Monument. Again, a very special event. Next slide. Park improvements. We can see some of the improvements here in the lecture hall here at the School of Horticulture. So making the environment for our students even better, and also for special events coming into this site. Next slide. The Majestic Monarch Tag and Release Program on September 7th and 8th. Great success. Wonderful turnout, 1,200 butterflies tagged and released. Our Niagara Parks Foundation also participated in this event, but this also speaks to our environmental stewardship, promoting the botanical gardens and the Butterfly Conservatory.
Dave, can I ask, what does the tag say?
Sorry, I don't.
We'll check that question when the tag says. I would suspect it's the date and something about the monarch butterflies. We can tag the migration and location for the monarchs as they head south.
Okay, so it's not 10% off of Table Rock.
So,
But that's interesting. I know, 1,200. I'm just saying, yeah.
well, our American visitors and our visitors from Mexico could return with that if butterflies make it down. Our tree planting program, the soil analysis of that work, and we had, of course, the Vineland Research Center here at a previous meeting talking about our MOU, and the soil analysis is one initiative that we're working with Vineland Research Center. This is really important work, more so now than ever, because we have different soil types along the 56-kilometer Niagara River corridor. And our tree planting program, part of our forest management program, we want to make sure the trees that we plant take. So the soil analysis is a really important part of that. Next slide. Niagara Parks Police Service. And again, a number of the events that our Niagara Parks Police Service represented Niagara Parks at over the recent past, including being in Ottawa and in Toronto, and local events as well. So you can see on the right-hand side all the events that our Parks Police were attending. So now we get into some of those capital improvements. The work is underway on the new tennis and pickleball courts at Queenston Heights. So we have a number of projects on the North Parkway, including the recreational trail, service roads, and the parkway itself. Next slide. A whole host of projects in Central Parks. This is essentially Queen Victoria Park. And again, you can see from road paving, the improvements to our washroom facility in Queen Victoria Park, pathways, a whole series of improvements. Next slide. And the South Parkway project, similarly, improvements to service roads, the parkway, the recreation trail. So you'll see a number of signs out, construction underway. This is our way of reinvesting across Niagara Parks. Upcoming events, and again, a series of events happening at Niagara Parks. We promote this to our database of e-newsletter subscribers, on our social media channels, on our website, and of course media releases also support these events going on. The one event I would point out is our community tree planting taking place near Old Fort Erie on October 26th. It's a great delight to see families plant trees for the first time, especially kids who have never planted a tree before. And it's a very simple process. Our Parks team member, Rob Shedden, gives some instruction before that gets underway, and then to see, again, that great smile on the kids' faces when they planted trees. And of course, once they plant one, they want to plant more. So that's October 26th. So with that... What time does that start? 10 o'clock? 10 a.m. And I think with that, we'll open for question and answer through the chair.
Anybody have any questions for the CEO? I know the mayor of Niagara Falls already hit his limit, but no questions for the chair, or for the CEO? Thank you, David, appreciate it. I did miss with my frustrations over the word chrysanthemum getting a attendance count. Darla, if you don't mind doing that right now.
Through the chair. Vice Chair Graham Coveney, Commissioner April Cotton, Commissioner Natasha DiCienzo, Commissioner Jim Diodati, Commissioner Tom Encina, Commissioner Dan Lacaprera, Commissioner Ted Salsi, Chief Operating Officer Marcelo Grosso, Chief Executive Officer David Adames, Chair Bob Gale.
Thanks, Darla. So now I'm opening up to other business. Dan, if you have any comments on golf or anything like that, please.
Just a couple of short comments.
Anybody have any comments for other business?
Yeah. On the golf, we're open till November the 2nd, and we have a very important event coming up, and that's the staff golf tournament. As of today, there's only one commissioner that's signed up for it.
Who might that be?
That might be me. And I would hope that would be some other colleagues that would be willing to share the day with the staff and enjoy the facility. November the 2nd is coming up very quickly, so if you have any intentions of showing up on the golf course, please do before then.
How come you look directly at me?
Well, you're the chair, that's why.
Thank you very much. And as far as work, I'm sorry I'm asking these questions. Answering. Work on the golf courses, anything being done yet on the cart paths or anything like that started yet?
I don't have any update because I've been out of country for the last 3 weeks, but
Sorry to put you on the spot.
perhaps David or Marcel.
Yeah, through the chair, we've awarded the drainage work, which is beginning, but we're going to wait till next week to start the drainage work. And then we are almost ready for the cart paths. We're prepping the request for proposal. That'll also be released in October and then awarded within the 30 days, and then work will begin. So we're on track.
Thank you for that. Now Dan's taking me on. He'll take you on if these things don't get fulfilled, right, Dan? Any other comments or visitors? Okay, that's it for our public meeting. The next one will be Thursday, November 14th at 9 a.m. Thank you very much. We'll shut that down. Motion to adjourn. Moved by Jim, seconded by Graham. All those in favor? Okay.